I go to start the day the Torah way in Tottenham, that is in Biala Besamedosh, 110 Castle with Rove. I go only twice a week because I can't go the other times because I've got other shirim and which I've got regular, but on Fridays and Sundays I haven't got a shir at that time at 9:10. So I go there on Sundays. It starts only 9:20, so I go there straight after davening to a shir, and especially sometimes they've got good speakers, very good speakers. Last week they had Dr. Sholem Springer. Sholem Springer is a very good speaker, and he said on a point which I found so interesting, and he said about sheker, telling a lie. He said, we think Lashon Hara is the worst thing that can be, but telling a lie is even worse. He says, when you say a Lashon Hara, it's gone out of you. You've told a Lashon Hara, but you haven't been fundamentally damaged to become a Lashon Haranik or something like that. This time you've said Lashon Hara. If you tell a lie, you've become a shakran. Even if it's B'darkei Sholem, you're allowed to tell a lie. Let's say for peaceful purposes. Sometimes there are lots of Rabbonim who think you can tell a lie. But if you tell a lie, then I don't know if you're telling a lie or not when it comes to the next time you're telling me something. And I can assume you're telling me a lie because you've lied to me once. What the reason would be because it's B'darkei Sholem or not doesn't make a difference. You have lied and so you've become a liar. So the words you've said, once you lie, the words you say are not trusted. You become a liar. And so I don't trust you anymore. So by telling a lie is the worst thing a person could do because it stains the stature of a person. It's the same as an animal. Animals cannot speak, and we, the human being, can speak. But by using speech to tell a lie, you have changed your stature, and you have become a liar. And whatever you say some other time, I don't have to assume it's the truth, but can be a lie. It's very important to be a ish emes and not tell the truth. And I don't think I've ever told a lie to my wife. We've always engaged. One of the perfect things is not to tell a lie. I've seen people who get divorced. You know, if you tell a lie a person you're not well or something like that, and before your marriage, and you don't tell a person this, and he marries you or she marries you, the marriage is val and void, nothing. Null and void. It's finished. Nothing. It's completely nothing. There's no marriage whatsoever, and you don't even have to have a get. Some people say, but lying is a terrible thing. And if you tell a lie, there's no trust. The only trust we have, maybe my husband, my wife, and me, is I might not like everything she does, and she might like everything I do, but we do not tell each other lies, and that's midvar sheker terchok, and that's something very important. And whether in marriage or whether in just being odom lechaveya, everybody knows if you tell him something, that as far as you know, it's the truth. I tell somebody, I don't know, this is what I've heard, and I don't know how true it is, but that's what I've heard, and finish. I'm not telling a lie, I'm just telling what I've heard. Somebody told me a fantastic story about the Amshnover Rebbe. You know, the Amshnover Rebbe's father-in-law went to one of the Litvische Gedolim, I think he's a Litvi, he's noted to one of the Litvische, big Gedolim, I don't know who, and he says on his son-in-law that, you know, he's funny mensch, davens late, he finishes late, he starts late, it's all funny, not al pi halacha. So this Godel says, Avera gereres Avera, show me the second Avera is done. If you consider what he's done now in Avera, show me this Avera, the other Avera. One Avera brings another Avera. Show me the second Avera he's done, which you think is an Avera. And of course he couldn't find anything. I mean, it doesn't behave in the stature of normal people. He behaves in a fantastic way. I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, everything's late. And like they say that his father once said to him, leave out the Shabbos and you'll be with the Klal Yisrael. These are all funny jokes. But in today's open avoider, he's one of the greatest men of today. What he does and works, how he makes a brocha, how he says l'chaim, tovim, and l'sholem. Everything he does is fantastic. And this same Amshnover Rebbe said, somebody told me who knows an authority, and it's known well, I asked about it, it's known, that he's the biggest supporter of Shlomo Carlebach. He says Shlomo Carlebach, with his nigunim, even today that he's not here and living only quite a few years, people become nearer to Yiddishkeit through him, and he's got a schissen oilem habe. I suppose he gets oilem Gehennem, and he gets hit for what he does wrong. I'm sure of that, what he did wrong. And I remember in Ger, they were very much against him because I don't want to say what, but he did. And here he says the Shlomo Carlebach draws nearer people to Yiddishkeit. He does. It's a fact. If somebody starts being a Shomer Torah mitzvahs because of a niggun which brought his heart nearer to Yiddishkeit through hearing Shlomo Carlebach, I'm sure he gets a schav in the world. Just let's say Rabbi Yankel's tape. Rabbi Yankel made tapes of others. I don't know how it came about that he made it in the week. He was made b'shnais, he learned. I don't know exactly. But when if a person hears a Rabbi Yankel's tape and he becomes nearer to Yiddishkeit, do you think Rabbi Yankel doesn't get a schav in the world? It's the same as when you learn a sefer from the Bnei Yissaschar, Svasemesach, Shlidish sefer, or Litvish sefer. Anything you do, which this God has inspired you, even though he lived years before, hundreds of years, even thousands of years before, it gives this good a schis in your Yiddishkeit, and I suppose the other way as well. But that's one thing we see, that everybody has got a shpur on other people, the way they behave in life, the way when somebody does something, that he has a shpur on other people's lives. He has a shpur on other people's lives, even though he doesn't want to. I heard from I don't want to mention his name because some people might be will look at it against him. They wouldn't understand him. Maybe he told me in private and he didn't tell me to publicize it, so I don't want to say his name. But if you ask me privately, I will tell you his name. Said that in the World Congress, the Zionist Congress 100 years ago, Herzl wanted to make the language of the State of Israel, when they came around of the proposal of the State of Israel, they wanted to make Yiddish, the state, Yiddish ist Yiddish, lass mal rein Yiddish, sind Polen, die können wir ganz frei, and everything else. I still remember Yidden Antwerpen, can Mechale Shabbos on, go with a dog in the street on Shabbos and everything else, carry, and everybody do things on Shabbos, but we got Yiddish. Wants to make Yiddish the language of the State of Israel. But just imagine, had they made, this person told me, this rabbi told me, just imagine they would have made Yiddish the language of the country. Do you know how many mothers before, I know people who've got mothers and grandmothers who couldn't daven, and grandparents, even men, who are marasim to this fact that they couldn't read properly. They weren't taught to read properly. They never learned how to read. They couldn't daven properly. We always laugh at Amuliga Maratzim, how they pronounce words. But you take anybody in Israel today, a Baal Tshuva, he open up a Chumash, he can read, first class, Nach, Chumash, Siddur, you tell him to daven, he can daven. He becomes a Baal Tshuva, he has no problem with davening. Because the State of Israel, without wanting to, has given a Yiddish chinuch, a chinuch of reading, through Hebrew being the language of the State of Israel. So a gewaltige thing came about. They wanted to make Hebrew the standard of the country's language because they wanted Hebrewish, we are modern. And really what came about is that every person in Israel can read. It must be a schus for them or something, I don't know. But it must be something a schus for them. I remember you used to say years ago on Ben Gurion that Ben Gurion's got a schis in all the boys who learn yeshiva because he didn't take them in tzava. They say that Chazon Ish promised him this, that he would have a schus with them, that people learn because they didn't go to tzava, and that's why they stayed in yeshivas. It would be his schus if he said. They say it's his schus for him. I don't understand how the world to come works. It doesn't work of that anybody's got a boot and pious and does everything wrong and tells lies and schwindles and everything else. He's got on him habbe and he's got no less din less time. He can do whatever the other likes, and when he tells lies with shadichim and with vashi keturch, like I explained before, I don't understand how they. But definitely somebody who's not from and tells always honesty, and it comes on Yena Welt, and he's always been an honest man. He's never faulted in his dibber. Definitely he's got some schar of Yena Welt. Of course he has. I can't understand exactly Yena Welt. I don't think the people watching this and listening to me do understand Yena Welt. We've got it very hard, but I can only bring you the doubts about how we understand Yena Welt. So what happens in this, the State of Israel, without them wanting to, have made people talk Hebrew, have taught them Hebrew, and they can all read and daven. It's a gewaltige Sach. A gewaltige Sach. And they can all go through to the... Do you know what the value a tefillah has got? Do I know how many people who are brought up in the state system and they don't keep anything, have said tefillahs to the Rebbeinu Shalom while they're at war, said please God, and they say daven the tefillah, have learned the word of Torah. Do you know what it means learning Apostle Chimish? Do you know what the value Torah has got on Yena Welt? Was real Tova, or to give it to a stein as mitzvahs and everything else, but Torah has got such a value on Yena Welt. We don't understand the values of everything else, and we don't understand the values of what everybody does.